Hello, it is Carla Sanders here. I am Carla, the Cosmic Crone, and I want to share something with you that I've been working on lately, doing some deep inner work, and I'm wanting to speak about it in a video to hear myself tell myself. I want my unconscious mind to get the message in no uncertain terms, and I also know that I am not alone, that what it has been bothering me is probably showing up for other people. So hopefully it is my intention that what I share with you today will give you some deep information and awareness about how to face your own fears. What I'm talking about is visibility and voice, how fear and shame will shut you down. So I've been doing some deep childhood work on my own fears. And it amazes me that I'm 64 years old and these fears still are running my life, and most of them I don't even know what they are. I don't know why things are turning out the way they're turning. And so I dug in, I peeled the layers. And just today, I had some breakthroughs, and part of my breakthrough is to share it. And I looked hard at it, and I realized I'm looking at trauma. This is a trauma response that I've been carrying with me all this time. And I need to be gentle with myself, as do you, because honestly, I would say that my level of trauma compared to what could have been, what other people experience, is small. However, when you're 3, you're a little child, maybe even younger than 3. You're an infant, but definitely I know some of these things I'm remembering happened when I was 3 or 5, or even 7 or 8. You get scared out of your mind by a grandfather and his leather belt, or the preacher and the hellfire and brimstone, in my case. That's trauma. That's abuse. It is approved and systemic abuse. So today I was digging around in those early traumas because the goddess inspires me to talk to you about voice, and I've been avoiding it. Well, why? So right now I will invite you to just take a breath and ask yourself the question that I asked myself this morning. What am I afraid will happen if I show up boldly in my power, ask for what I want, do what I want, say what I need to say, in full view of other people? What am I afraid will happen? And you know when I notice this? I notice this actually every time I do show up boldly with a client on a stage, in a workshop. When I have a success and people's lives are changed and I am on purpose, I find myself pulling back and hiding. It's a reflex. And I say, oh, it's because I'm an introvert and I need to recharge. No, that's not what's happening. So, have you thought about it? What am I afraid will happen if I show up boldly in my full power? What am I afraid of? Well, I went through this cycle. I wrote it down, my journal. I'm afraid somebody will call me out as a fake. I'm afraid I will stumble. I'm afraid I will screw up and embarrass myself. I'm afraid I'll embarrass my mother. My mother? My mother's been dead for over 10 years. So I dug deeper. I felt like I was onto something when my mother came up. I'm afraid I'm wrong. I'm afraid I'm being bad. Because tooting your own horn, speaking up, standing out, showing up, standing tall, being proud and loud, this was all forbidden in the family I grew up in, especially if you were a girl. And especially if you were a child. And especially if you were my daddy. I mean, this has some daddy stuff with it too. So it all boiled down to, When I show up bold, I'm being bad, or I'm afraid I'm being bad, or somebody will say that I'm bad. And what happens to bad girls? Well, Granddaddy will get out his leather razor strop and whip you, and you will get red marks on your legs and butt. That's what happens if you're bad. And then the preacher says, God will punish you and send you to hell if you are bad. And these two kind of merged when I was little. And you know what else was confusing? Granddaddy. Go give Granddaddy a hug. Go love on Granddaddy. Go sit on Granddaddy's lap. Granddaddy loves you. You're Granddaddy's girl. Granddaddy beat my little brother within an inch of his life with the razor strap and threatened to do it to me if I didn't learn my lesson. I'm supposed to love him? God is love. God loves you. Jesus loved you so much, he died for your sins. And you are so bad, you're going to go to hell. This is how trauma gets imprinted when love and survival and belonging get all mixed up with terror and punishment and pain and shame. And we learn that it's all our fault and we're bad. I did. I learned it. So my granddaddy whipped my baby brother, and he was probably not even 3 years old yet. I was 5. I know it. I remember. I remember this moment. And then afterwards, I went and hid in the big hall closet behind the winter coats. And I said with all the power in my baby diva soul, I am never going to be bad. I will always be good because I'm not getting a whipping like that. And guess what? I failed because we can't always be good. What is good anyway? Who says it's good? There's always a rule that we didn't get, that we broke, or the thing we want is too wonderful, and so we know that we have to go get it even though Mother said no, or we're going to get in trouble if we get caught, so maybe we won't get caught. So let's see if we can not get caught. Let's see if we can hide. So many things in my life I had to hide. I had to hide most of my desires because most of them were bad, whether it was a cookie or a cake, calories, fat. Being fat was very bad. Or, well, we could go on and on. I spent a lot of time trying to be good and failing, and being bad and trying not to get caught. Because I didn't want to be punished. I didn't want to be shamed. I didn't want to be embarrassed. And guess what we do? And we women especially learn this. We police ourselves. We may not get caught by the adults or the people with the power to punishment, so we do it in advance. We punish ourselves for being bad. And like so many of us, I became an expert at this. And right now, I am looking this thing square in the eye, square in my iPhone screen, and doing a video about it so that I will know that I have power over this, and so that you will know you do too. This is really important. So, this morning I had the revelation when I realized that this has been running me. And I'm outing myself because I want my unconscious mind to know that I don't need to hide anymore, because guess what? Hiding won't even keep me safe. I can remain silent or go into hiding so I won't make a mistake or screw up or fail or crash and burn, or bottom line, be a bad girl who breaks rules and gets a whipping, or be a bad girl and go to hell when I die. And the thing is, when you hide from what you're afraid of, from what might hurt you and punish you, you also hide from the good things. You can't just hide a little bit. You can't hide selectively. You are either out and shining and daring boldly, as Brene Brown says, or and daring boldly and receiving everything that comes your way and owning what comes your way and how it lands and how you use the gift of it. Whether it's a fistful of money or love and appreciation or opportunities, or whether it's criticism, haters, feedback, constructive sometimes feedback, or the consequences of having screwed up. All of these are jewels. Some feel better than others, but they're all fraught with danger if your default is, I must hide to be safe because I am so bad and I mustn't get caught. This is me. This is not me. This is not me at all. So here's the thing. In my life, professionally, I have stepped out in a big way. I have had one-woman art shows. I have spoken on stages in front of crowds. I have taken people through deep transformation. I have led ceremony. I have stood in front of people and said, buy this product. It's amazing. I have talked about sex in front of thousands. And every time I've stepped out in a big way, I have fallen hard afterwards. I have failed. I have made mistakes that were so out of alignment with who I know myself to be that I can't even believe I did it. But it happened. And 90% of the time, yay, I was the only one that was harmed. No one else was harmed. And I made it up. Nothing was really bad. It was just a massive self-judgment party that took everything that happened and twisted it into, oh man, I'm bad, I fucked up bad. I screwed that up. And once in a while, I really have screwed up. You know, the check bounced, I truly embarrassed myself. Something unmitigatedly awful happened, and I had to deal or hide or a little bit of both. Sometimes I would deal and then run and hide, or sometimes I'd run and hide and then come back later and try to deal, because you can't move forward if you're not dealing. And what was really going on was something that Gay Hendricks calls the upper limit problem. If you are an entrepreneur, if you're up to creating anything significant in your life, you need to read this book, The Big Leap. He talks about the upper limit problem, and he's talking about it in terms of we seem to have a limit. We have a self-regulation around how good we're allowed to feel. And so we can shift out of that by worrying, by creating a problem instead of a solution, by just shifting from thinking about, oh, how good things are going, to starting to worry about, oh, what could go wrong? And that's like really low level. We can also blow shit up and seize defeat out of the jaws of success, as they say. We can blow a 12-point lead in the ninth inning. We can, a baseball metaphor, we can, do everything right, and then through our own attitudes or making some crucial mistake or dropping the ball in the last moment, make no sales or have it go sideways. We can get scared and never start, even though we can see the path ahead. But it's scary, and what if, and what if, and what if, I won't even do it. I've done that a lot. And I'm so ashamed when I do it. I hide. Yeah, I've done this. I can see it. And now I know why. It's because I was scared out of my wits when I was a little kid. There was serious something to pay if I was bad, and I don't want to be bad. I was making sure my inner 5-year-old did not get too big for her britches or step out of line and get caught with my hand in the cookie jar, sneaking a snack. Or sassing. Or sometimes just making a simple mistake. Little children don't usually do things because we're bad. We do things because we don't realize that we shouldn't have done it, or that there's a problem. A lot of times we're just following our desires. They're very natural. They are God-given. And somebody says, you shouldn't be following your desire. You must squash your desire. At least that's certainly the message we take away. I took that away. One reason I work with sexuality and desire and pleasure, because I've been working on it my whole life in my own healing journey. And today I went all the way through to another layer. Yes, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Goddess. So the thing that I realized today, as I've just described to you, I have failed many times. And I've been called out many times. And I've screwed up many times. And it hurts. And it's embarrassing. And I hate that feeling of shame. And so I want to hide or just pull back. And sometimes it's like, it feels like this fog that why am I not doing what I said I would do? Why am I not showing up? Why am I reluctant? Why did I go down that rabbit hole instead of doing this thing over here that is much more on purpose and in alignment? Why? I don't even get it. I know why. So, Carla, note to self, these failures were in my imagination. This is my perception and my self-judgment. Most of what I fear will never come to pass. Most of the mistakes that I believed I made were figments of self-judgment, painting a dreadful picture. Shame is a liar, and most of what it shows us is not real. There's just enough that is real to convince us that it's true. Con artists, that's what shame is. So, when I have failed, here's what has happened. I have made it right. I have made reparations. I have asked forgiveness. I have apologized. I have paid the penalty, including whether it's a late fee or whatever the bill was, I've paid it. It's complete. It's over. It's done for. Move on, do better, and allow myself to be human. And don't let it stop me. I'm still here. My voice still matters. The divine, the cosmic crone still wants me to speak up, speak the truth about women, about sex, about nurture, about nature, about your divine feminine power. And I've received so much wisdom and humility and power. Yes, those three things go together. They're a package deal. And they come with everything that happens. They're feedback, they're data, they're information. They are steps on the way to success, power, and confidence. So I realize that every time I take a step into the spotlight, even if it's right here on my little iPhone and tripod in my studio, I am triggering that don't be bad, don't get in trouble, don't get caught, don't let granddaddy or mother or God find out you're doing this. Because you will be punished and humiliated if you get caught. And it feels so shitty that I want to pretend I don't feel it at all. I don't even want to catch myself, but I do want to catch myself. Because if I want to change, if I want to fulfill my purpose, if I want to heal my lineage and heal my own life, if I want to create a life that thrills and delights me, if I want to be of real service to women and to the earth, if I want to have what I desire, I better catch myself. I better let myself feel the feeling, touch that feeling of fear and the anxiety around getting caught, of what might happen. Imagine the worst case scenario just for a second and say, well, it's already happened and I'm still here. Or even if something worse happens, there's gold in that. So when that upper limit is coming to grab me by the ankle and take me down or send me running into the big walk-in closet to hide behind the winter coats, I will catch myself and say, you're staying out of that closet. You're going to stand here. You're going to stand here in this discomfort and show yourself and God and all the people watching that you are in your power, that I trust myself. I own my voice. I believe in myself, and I've got God and all the divinities behind me, holding me in the great circle of life. I stand here boldly. I will not be moved. I cannot be hurt. I cannot fail. I am unstoppable. I am invincible. And I will take care of myself. So, this is for you too. Because it is really important for women right now to raise our voices. To raise our voices in truth, in song, in orgasm, in protest, in teaching, in loving. When we women raise our voices, we are dangerous. It is dangerous for us because we are dangerous. So I've outed myself here. The worst mistakes that I can make may not be made because as I step forward with more boldness, I can make bigger mistakes. I can fail bigger and faster. But I am willing to stand up, speak up, and risk making them because my mission matters. You matter. The earth matters. Truth matters. Love matters. And it's time to talk about voice. Time to raise our voices. Time to walk through the fear and realize it's real. To feel it. The emotion is real. But the fear is not real. It's made up. So don't stop. Keep walking into the fear, through the fear. My coach says fear is not a stop sign. It might sometimes be a yield sign because sometimes we need to take a break. We need to stop and reset and get the message from what happened. Gather the gift. Take it in. Regroup. And step back onto the stage. Step back onto the path. In Womb Wisdom Portal and in my other group, Wise Women Lead, I will be talking about voice. That there are 3 feminine powers: sex, wealth, and voice. I've talked a lot about sex and wealth over the past couple of years. I think I've held back on voice because somehow it represented the most daring aspect of the work, the most dangerous aspect of the work, and the most powerful. And they're all connected. One, you can't have one without all the other. So now it's voice's turn. So come join Womb Wisdom Portal, the group on Facebook. Sign up for my newsletter list. I'll put links in the comments under this video. Start speaking up, and don't try to do it alone. There is safety in numbers, safety in mentorship, safety in having someone who can look at you and stand with you and say, no, you didn't screw up. That was great. What was the good thing that happened? You maybe didn't get what you expected to get, but what did you get? You got some gold from that experience. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm going through this. That's why I'm sharing it. Thank you. I am Carla Sanders, the Cosmic Crone, and it is my joy to be on this path with you. Aho.